David, a couple of days after the weekend's match, still frustrated?
Having watched the DVD and obviously gone through many aspects of the game, yeah, the frustrating thing is that the margins between winning the game and certainly coming away with nothing leaves you frustrated.
Thoroughly mugged almost?
Well, it depends what journalism and report you want to put on it. I feel that certainly I'll give credit to Tamworth in the way they defended, 11 men behind the ball, and certainly worked hard, very hard in keeping that victory. And that's an attribute that you need, and we've had that in many games as well. But frustrating because we had certainly the greater share and a lot of possession without being able to turn it into goals. So yeah, a little bit frustrating.
It's not a new problem though, is it, David, that you face at Field Mill, sides coming to your ground and parking the bus almost in front of the goal?
Yeah, that's obviously an equation that you have to look at. I don't think we can complain about the possession and certainly keeping the ball. I felt at times we could have used a bit more depth to our game, certainly trying to entice the other side out. We've worked on that in training, and I felt sometimes there were key elements, and we've got to use our experience in certain ways in not turning it into a game where we get sucked into playing the type of football that we don't want to see. I feel that we've got players, we've got footballers in the club, and we want to be able to get the benefit of those. And I felt on Saturday you're probably more frustrated because you've had all the possession and they've not really manufactured a chance other than the goal, and the goal came from a lapse in concentration in a high area, and even then we had the opportunity to nullify it, and probably a little bit too honest from a winger, really.
Where are the positives from the weekend for you?
Oh goodness, lots of positives on certain players I thought played very well. But you come out of it, you can analyse defeats and take on it too much, but having the back of, we've just watched the Cambridge game again and aspects of that where we were very, very solid. But I think the momentary lapse in concentration from and leaving ourselves open to the counter-attack from a forward area was the most frustrating part about the goal that we conceded.
The weekend was almost the end of the initial part of the season. You're now into a time where you've got a week between two games. That for you, David, as a manager, must be a relief, having 7 days to readjust.
Well, we've gone into that game with 2 or 3 quite heavy knocks, and players are going to be given time to recover now because the games have come thick and fast, and certainly there's a couple of players there that won't be training up until Thursday because of the consequence of the games that we've had prior to Saturday.
Who are those players, should I say, with those knocks at the minute, who are currently on the sideline?
I'll leave that at the moment, to be honest, David, because I'd rather other teams don't pick up on it. I'm sure people will tune into our website, and I don't really need other teams knowing about those, so we'll keep those under wraps at the minute.
But those players fit for Saturday?
Yeah, we're hopeful to have a clean bill of health. Obviously, there may be a time to freshen up and look at areas that we can play and benefit. Going away to Southport, who will offer a different kind of game. So yeah, we certainly we enjoyed the boys have worked very hard yesterday in training. There's been we had a good team meeting, a very healthy discussion on Monday morning, and we'll put that one to bed and move on.
Arguably though, David, there's still players in your squad who have got fresh legs, players that you could bring into the mix.
Yeah, that's right, and that could well happen at the weekend. Certainly. I've stuck with the same format for 7 games. Virtually, I think there's only 1 or 2 changes in that. Paul Stonehouse and I think Keegan Park and Luke Medley probably were the ones that changed over down to injury and personnel. So yeah, there are some boys there that are really chomping at the bit to get an opportunity, and if they do get an opportunity, we'd expect them to take it. But likewise, I'll be looking for a reaction in training, and the players. Have worked very hard and got their heads down and understand where we can improve. Before
we come on to the Southport game, seen a couple of the younger players walking into the training ground today. Tom Naylor, Connor Higginson, you've also got a couple of young players out on loan. How have they shaped up so far this season for you?
The 3 boys that have gone out on loan have had Connor hasn't started all of his games at Blackwell, which is obviously something I'm looking at, and I've spoken to the manager there. Nilo Rafferty has done extremely well. He's gone out there. I mean, Billy Heath at Frickley is very pleased with him, and certainly knows he's learning the game still. But he missed the weekend's game through a virus, so we're hoping that he'll be back for next weekend. But he's doing very well. But he's only a baby. He knows he's only been in the game 2 minutes. And I'm pleased with him. And young Ben is maturing very well. So those three boys, you know, he's up at North Ferriby, and I know Neil Allison is certainly very pleased with how he's progressing and performing each week.
You heaped a lot of praise on Tom Naylor in pre-season. You've got a very difficult task out at the minute to break into that back four.
Well, what I would say is that Tom is performing very well in training, and he's been on the bench, and I think that the fans appreciate the fact is that he's a local lad and coming through the youth side here. I felt that Tom over the last 18 months has certainly progressed in terms of strengthening and understanding the game. He's still got a long way to go, but the two boys in front of him at the moment have done well. They've only had one game where they've really not performed as I would like. I thought Steve Foster led the side very well on Saturday, and he certainly showed a huge amount of desire. And then we've got Mark Priest as well. Mark Priest is desperate for games, so I may well look to loan Mark out and get him some much needed match action.
Any other loan departures in the offing?
No, I've had no inquiries other than for one of our forwards, which I don't want him to go out on loan. And as I say, we need everybody in contention, because things can change very quickly. You could pick up 2 injuries and all of a sudden you leave yourself bare, and I don't really want to go into the loan market unless it's a necessity. But as I say, the other fringe players, I had one inquiry about one of our senior players, but that didn't come to fruition, so there's nothing we can do about it.
Senior player being Ryan Williams?
One of the senior players, yeah.
And which forward were you off? Well, which forward could have gone out?
David, there's a number of them that could have been, mate. I don't want to put anybody in the spotlight, because I'm not looking to let any of those guys out. We need goals, and after the weekend, everybody is in contention for a place this weekend.
We've seen sides come to field Milton, namely Tamworth and part of the Burst. At home though for Southport, don't imagine they'll be doing that. They'll be going for 3 points.
Well, we'll look at their formation. We'll certainly do our homework on Southport, as we do with every club, to the best of our ability. And we hope that it'll be an open game. We do obviously have to deal with a different equation when teams come to Field Mill. We have looked at the mannerisms, obviously, of winning games, trying to win games and be progressive. I like to entertain. We like to entertain as a football club and a team, and we will continue to do so. We have to try and get that fine line, though, of making sure that we are switched on at all times and don't give away opportunities that are unnecessary.